Why the hell so many people are trying to tell me to slow down? Seems like motherfuckers should be shutting the hell up and enjoying the show.
Now, Miss Stephanie Taylor, how you doing today?
I'm doing fine, Tasha. Thanks for having me.
Okay, thank you for trusting me with such intimate and just graphic and personal details. And I just wanted to let the public know you and I have been talking over the last few months. I want to say about 3 or 4. And now I have to say allegedly, this is your story. I wasn't there. By me saying allegedly, it doesn't say that I don't believe you. It's just saying I was not there. Okay?
Yeah.
And so, but I support you in this. If I didn't support you, I wouldn't have offered you my platform. So just in case the viewers aren't aware of where we're going with this, singer Ashanti, her father, I believe, whom was her manager for quite some time, if I'm not mistaken, Thomas, he goes by the name of Kincaid Thomas.
That's his nickname.
Douglas.
His government is Thomas Gilbert Douglas.
Okay, all right. Now, he is the father to Ashanti. Her mother's name is Tina Douglas. And you've had quite the past with Kincaid, who we're going to refer as Kincaid, who is Ashanti's father, the singer, and his wife, Tina. Now, I want you to start from the beginning. Take your time. No rush, okay? When you reached out to me, I didn't expect you to unload as much as you unloaded during our first phone call, and it was a relief for you. And we've had, like I said, we've had a few conversations between that time, and I know this has been very hard for you to come forward to put your story out there. And so I just kind of want to give you the floor to start from the beginning on how it is that you came in contact with Ashanti's father, Kincaid, and his wife, Tina.
Ooh. Okay. How I came into contact with both of them was Tina was a dance instructor for the Glen Cove Boys Club, and I started going to dance school there. I was in her dance class. She had several groups. She had the little ones from, like, I think 6 to 9, 8 up, and then there was like the 10, 12, 13 to the teenagers, and she had a few older ones. I was in the little girls group at that time. And I joined her group, and he was always with her all the time when we had dance class, and he would sit in with the little kids.
And when you say he, you're talking about Kincaid, Ashanti's father, correct?
Yes. Kincaid would sit in with the little kids, and he play with us and tickle us and toss us around. He was always very friendly with the kids. Tina was always very friendly and loving to her girls, but he always was around the little kids. For some reason, I don't know why I was the one taken liking to so much, as one of her students, but she looked at me as one of her little proteges, because I was a good dancer, and she always believed in me and always told me that I was going to be a good dancer and things like that. But he still always sat underneath the little kids. So as I got a little older, like around 8, 9 years old, Tina started taking me around with her, like, took me underneath her wing, and she became more like a big sister figure, or like a mother figure, treating me very well and taking me places. And then he was still around. And then he started taking me places like, I'm going to take you over to the house to see Tina. She didn't mind, because he was always bringing me to her.
And how old were you at the time?
At the time, she started taking me underneath her wing. I could say after about 9, 10 years old, she started, like, doing little things for me, like, buying me little clothes and little sneakers and stuff, because I didn't have the best of everything. I came from a family of seven kids, 5 girls, 2 boys. But
wow.
They always reassured my mom that they would look out for me, At least he did, He was very cunning, to my mom and stuff like that.
And again, we're talking about Kincaid. And this, just to be clear, just in case anyone is confused, this happened around what time?
Oh, this is in the 70s.
Okay. All right. So go ahead and pick up from, okay.
In the 70s when they had 8 tracks in the car.
Okay.
That's that's how far back. And back then, no one told you, if anyone touched you the wrong way or anything, to come to me and tell me. You didn't grow up. I didn't grow up in a time when they used to tell people that. So I didn't know when he first started touching on me what it was.
And when was the first time he touched you, Kincaid?
Say that again.
When was the first time Kincaid touched you?
The first time he touched me, I was like 9. He was feeling me up, but I didn't know that's what was going on. It was like, oh, I'm sorry. My hand didn't mean to touch your private. Oh, I'm sorry. My hand didn't mean to touch your chest. You know what I'm saying? So you didn't look at it as anything out of the norm.
And this took place at the dance studio, correct?
It was called the Lincoln House back then, the Glen Cove Lincoln House.
Okay.
Where all the kids went, and they had like a little daycare in there and all that stuff.
Okay.
And a boxing ring, and that's where everything basically like started. Then, oh God, just give me a minute.
Take your time.
Then, like, penetration didn't come till like I was 10.
Wow.
I remember getting my menstrual in November, I think it was 1974, 75, and I was 10. And at that time, he was, like, starting to, like, get close to my sister, so he can get in the house more.
How, your sister, what do you mean your sister? How old was your sister at the time? So,
my sister was in her 20s.
Oh, okay.
My sister was in her 20s, so he started, like, getting close to he weaned his way in. He started getting close to my sister, started coming over to the house, seeing my sister, and, being really nice to my mom. And, my dad had a drinking problem, so he would, like, buy my dad liquor. You know what I'm saying? So nothing wouldn't look, too out of the ordinary for, like, if he'd be like, Miss Harvey, I'm taking Stephanie with me, I'm going to take her over to see Tina. My mother would be like, oh, okay, no problem, And Tina lived in Queens.
Okay.
Tina lived in Queens at the time. And he lived in the house with Tina and her mom. And off the kitchen, they lived in a 2-bedroom apartment. Off the kitchen, there was a bedroom. Then there was a living room. I don't know if this furniture that was in the living room that was stacked up was for when they get their own apartment. But, like, he would take me over there. And sometimes Tina would be surprised, like, what are you doing with her? And he'd be like, oh, I brought her over to see you. Meanwhile, they would leave me. Her mom would leave. She would leave. And he would be like, Tina would be like, I'll take her home. And he would be like, no, I'll take her home. But I knew what was about to happen.
And you were 10 years old. And you were 10 years old at the time.
He would take me home. But before he took me home, he would like have sex with me. In her mom's house. In Queens.
At 10 years old.
At like 10 years old.
And how old was Kincaid at the time?
I don't know. I know he was very much older than me. He had to be in his 20s, early 20s.
Okay.
They had to be in their 20s. They got married in their 20s. I was even in their wedding.
Oh, wow.
That's how close I was to the family. Tina, I mean, I can't say anything bad about her too much besides the fact that she left when, oh, my God, how can I put this? She caught me in the van. He used to hide me in the van.
Okay.
And he would tell me, when Tina leave, I'm going to come downstairs and get you. One day she left, but she must wanted something out the van. And there, when she opened up the door, there I was. And she was like, what are you doing in here? I couldn't even say nothing. I was just stuck, but I wanted her to push, like, to make me tell her something. She would just always get mad at me and be like, tell Cade to bring you home. And I'd be in there, like, so nervous, like, oh, my God, what is going on here? And he would, like, have sex with me, and we would hear her coming because she walked so hard. Everything was timed out. Like, when she leave, come up the stairs. Don't take the elevator. Come up the stairs. They lived in an apartment building called the Glen Arms Apartments. They had just was freshly built, and they moved into these apartments, And I recall him taking me to the apartment and having sex with me, and I thought I had my menstrual, right? And at this time, I didn't have a period. I was 9. And he told me, no, you don't have your menstrual. I was like, oh, something's happening. And I was so scared to go home. And he was like, don't worry about it. I'm going to explain to you what's going on. And he told me he broke my hymen. At 9 years old, you don't know what, excuse my language, what the heck is a hymen? And he was like, you ever hear boys say they popped a girl's cherry? That's what I just did to you. That devastated me. That devastated me. Oh, wait a minute. Just hold on a second.
Okay. Take your time.
Then one time, Tina came. We was all at the house. Tina came there, and this was like nighttime. I wouldn't say like too late. It was daylight saving time. I would say like it was starting to get dark around about 6 o'clock or something like that, and we were all there. She left, but she doubled back. He had the chain lock on the door. He did what he had to do to me. We heard her walking down the hallway. He would not take that chain lock off the door because he was trying to give me time to pull my clothes up and put my shirt and stuff on. And she was like, open the door. What's going on in here? And he was trying to act like the chain lock was stuck. It wasn't stuck. He had his foot against the door, and he wouldn't let her in right away. When he did let her in, she was like, what's going on in here? Stephanie, tell me what's going on. But I was like a deer in headlights. You can't tell that my damn shirt is on the wrong way. I'm disshuffled, but you left me there. You left me there knowing you could tell your husband did something to me. And then she knew. She knew. That's not the first time she, like, caught me with him. She just bypassed everything. And she blamed me. She kicked me out of her dance group. She told me she never wanted to see me again, and that hurt me so bad. Once again, you still didn't push and ask me, is my boyfriend doing anything to you? You know, at that time, he was married to her. You know, before he got married, the day before he was getting married, he slept with me. While they was on their honeymoon in the Poconos, he called me. He used to have me wait by a payphone. He kept me close. He kept me very close, always checking, made sure I wasn't talking to nobody, made sure I wasn't doing nothing, you know, and he's like,
all right, winos, you know, good health can be hard to come by, especially when life gets in the way. But the olive leaf extract can actually help you with that. The olive leaf extract can help detox your body in just 7 days. It's like magic, but better because it's real and it gives real results. And I know this because I personally use it. The olive leaf extract can help lower your blood pressure, clear eczema, and fight against autoimmune diseases and so much more. Now, I want you to do something good for your health and just visit their website at www.myoliveleaf.biz. The link is located below in the description box as well as in the comments. Let me help you. So you said that Kincaid actually was in a relationship with your sister who was in her 20s. Mm-hmm. At the same time, he was in a relationship with Tina at the time. And
she confronted me about that. She confronted me one day in dance class.
Who Tina confronted you? Okay.
Yes, she confronted me, and I, got ready to, warm up in dance class, and she was like, come here, I want to talk to you. And I was like, yeah. She was like, people telling me that Kincaid is messing with your sister. Is he messing with your sister? And she had a way of speaking to you that would put the fear of God in you, you know? And I was like, no. I was like, no. I knew he was coming to the house, but I didn't know the extent of him and my sister's friendship. Not until he started coming, like, later and later. Okay. And I had a habit of always screwing the light bulbs out because I always felt, like, dirty and stuff. So I always sat in the dark, and I would screw the light bulbs out because I would hate for him to see me when he came to the house because I knew what was next. He was going to go in the room. He was going to spend time with my sister. Then I know he was going to come in this room and fill me up, and I just always felt so disgusted.
Wait a minute. So you would be around the age of 10, and he would come over to your house, buy your father some liquor, say hi to your mom. He would go into the room to see your sister, and then he was done with your sister. He came into your room to sleep with you?
No, he would, like, come in the room, like, to say goodnight, and I can hear my sister saying, "She sleep. Why would you want to go in there and wake her up?" And he was like, "No, I just need to tell her something." And then I wouldn't be asleep, but I would play sleep, and then he would be, like, acting like he was speaking to me, but he would, like, be feeling between my legs and stuff, you know what I'm saying? And then my sister would try to flick my lights on, and then she'd be like, "Did your light blow out?" But she wouldn't know that I screwed the light bulbs out. I always stayed in the dark because I always felt like I knew something was wrong, but when you're that age, you can't pinpoint exactly what's going on, you know. But I knew something was wrong. I just always felt in my gut that something wasn't wrong. But I knew I was either going to get a bike. I knew I was going to either get a gift. You know what I'm saying?
From him.
I looked forward to, like, the little gifts and stuff, you know. And he kept me close. He kept me real close. He used to have this job where he would install. He's very handy with like music, installing sound systems in cars and stuff. He was good with that. He used to drag me to this place he used to work, and it'd be like all day fucking long. Oh, God, forgive me for my language. It would be all day long. Well, I should have been out there playing with kids, like playing jump rope, you know, playing with dolls. I'd be sitting and waiting for him to, like, install radios and cars, then taking me home. I was fed so much fast food. I hate fast food.
And your mom... Take your time.
And I held a grudge against my mom for many, many years because I wasn't sure she knew what was going on as I began to get older. And started saying to myself, so I didn't know if I was being molested or it was incest. I had to figure out what was incest and what was being molested. So after, like, when they started talking about things like that on TV and people started being more vocal about it on, you know, on the news, I knew what category I fell in. And once I knew what category I fell in, I didn't know which way to turn to tell anybody. You know, then I got pregnant. My first pregnancy was when I was 11.
Wow.
It took me to this girl he was dating in Brooklyn, who we are very good friends today. And I went and got the abortion in her name. And when I went there, the people knew I was not in my 20s. They kept saying, "You sure you in your 20s?" I had to remember this lady's date of birth. I had to remember her address. I tried to dress the part, but you could tell my body frame was not of an adult. It was I was flat-chested as hell. You could tell, you know. So he paid for this abortion, and I went through this abortion with no anesthesia. No, nothing. I will never forget that feeling, you know. And he left me in Brooklyn for like 2 days. Told my mother I was staying with one of his friends, which I did, you know. Then here comes again. Maybe a year later, I was pregnant again. You know, he took me somewhere else.
At 12.
Got abortion. I had 3 abortions by the time I was 15. I had 3 abortions by him. You know, and it was just horrible because each time I went, I was never put to sleep. I have internal problems to this day because of that, because I was so young, having no abortions.
Oh, my God.
And I know I'm hopping all over the place, but let me just give you some more background about him. He sings, he sings like a bluebird. Ashanti get her voice from him. He has an immaculate voice, but he still, you know, is a con artist. Very cunning, very believable. You know, his mother and his brothers, he have a brother named Leon, Poppy, He has a sister named Mona, Tiny, Nora. All of them used to always be like, why are you with her all the time? Why is she not never with Tina? And he would always be like, oh, well, me and Tina look out for her. You know, her mom and dad can't really take care of her like, you know, they want to. So Tina and I took her under our wing, and we look out for her. We buy her school clothes and stuff like that. You know, so that was the lie I had to stick with as well, if anyone asked me. You know what I'm saying? So his mother used to take care of this lady. She did home health care work, and he would bring me by there sometime. You know, like if he had to do something for his mother or give his mother some, or, you know, just go to see his mother. And his mother used to be like, Cade, I'm telling you, you better stop being around that little girl. Why is she with you all the time? He made up another story. You know, he slept around with a lot of women. He brought me around a lot of women that he was sleeping with, like this girl, Sandy, you know, and he was even sleeping with some of the girls that went to, Tina used to run an IBM school at the NAACP. And he brought me around some of them girls he slept with. And her father used to, like, pay me to come stuff envelopes. You know how you ask a little kid if they want to make some money and give you $20, $30, come stuff some envelopes. You know, and I used to stuff envelopes. He would sneak up there in that office and be like, pull your pants down real fast. You know, let me just bend over the chair. And he would do that. And I used to be so afraid, Tina, someone was going to walk in and catch us, you know. Sometimes I would hope that someone did. But no one did besides my sister coming in her bedroom one time, and he held his foot against the door. And when she busted in her room, she was like, what's going on in here? Everybody wanted to know what's going on, but no one pushed the issue. You know, no one ever pushed the issue to make me talk. And I couldn't really talk because he was full of, you better not say nothing. I made the mold. I could break the mold. I didn't know what that meant at 11, 12 years old. You know, I was taking showers with this man in his house where him and his wife lived, you know, at the age of 11, 12. You know, we both washing each other up, then laying back in bed. I would want to come home and he want to cuddle. I wanted to be out doing what young girls do. I couldn't have boyfriends, none of that. He made that very clear. You know, and till this day, there's certain people be like, yo, that guy Kincaid you used to be around, he act like he was saving you for himself. You know, stuff like that shocked me because all the stuff happened in the 70s and people are still talking about me.
To this day.
You know, to this day. There's kids that wasn't even born when none of this happened talking about my story. And that is one of the reasons. That's not one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about this. Once I got cancer, I said, I'm not going to take this to my grave. I cannot let this eat me up. I need to tell my story. You know, I reached out to Tina many times. Many times. I wrote a letter in 2006, in 2016, asking her to please just touch base with me. I need to know why you left me and why you put this all on me. You know, I was in her wedding. You know, she brought my clothes. I used to clean their house. He hid me behind dressers. She wouldn't even know I was in the house. He would put me behind the dresser and then take the quilt and throw it behind the dresser and be like, you be really, 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 really quiet. And I'd be in a fetal position behind the dresser, hoping I don't sneeze or something fall over. You know what I mean? And he'd do whatever he needed to do with her or whatever, and I'd be hidden somewhere. I've been hidden in closet.
Now, I remember,
and
I remember you stating that, you know, during one of our previous conversations, he threw you behind the dresser. I guess it was during when Tina came home for lunch and proceeded to have sex with Tina.
Yeah, intimacy with her, and then after she leave, I would come from behind the dresser. He would, move the dresser so I can come from behind the dresser.
And did he proceed to have sex with you after he was done with Tina?
There was times he's had sex with her and didn't have sex with me, yes. And there was, I don't know if you remember a birth control called M-Co. It's like a foam you put in a tube and you inject it. It's called M-Co.
That's old, yes.
That's how long ago this happened. M-Co, and he would wash that tube out and use that same tube of M-Co to insert that inside me so I wouldn't get pregnant.
After he was done with her?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It's a lot. It's a lot. It is a lot. Like, he would, like, have me out, like, late at night. Like, my mother would be like, if you're going to go to Tina's house, make sure they have you home by a certain time. But every time that certain time came to take me home, he would have to get what he had to get. And all I would want to do was go home.
And when you say when he had to get
go home,
now when you say he had to get what he had to get, meaning he would have sex.
He
with
would
her.
have to have sex with me.
Okay. And
whenever he wanted to have sex with me, he had sex with me. Tina went to Queens College, right? Queensboro College. And somewhere over by Queensboro College, there's this big, big pond that have benches and stuff. And it's like a little lover's lane. You could walk all around the whole pond. He would park by this pond, and in the van had curtains. He would safety pin the curtains, all the curtains, and the back fold out into a bed and stuff, and he would have sex with me. Mm. And he would literally walk the streets with me, holding hands with me like he was in a relationship with this little girl.
Wow.
And if Tina got roller skates, I got hush-hush roller skates. When he brought Tina a bike, he brought me a hush-hush bike. He brought me a hush-hush TV. You know what I'm saying? And back then it wasn't even like color, I don't think. It was a black and white little teeny orange TV. And he always used to sing these damn love songs to me, like the Shy Light, Stylistics, songs I ain't know nothing about till I got, like, in my 20s. Like, then I started to know what they meant, Mm-hmm. Tell me he loved me and all this stuff, don't tell nobody. And I remember one time I was liking this guy, and my sister asked me to babysit, and
how old were you at the time?
I let him.
Do you remember?
At that time, I was about 15 when I said I wasn't taking this shit no more.
Okay.
So I started, when guys like me, I started, like, going to movies and stuff like that, and he'd be like, you were going, where were you? You was with who? Always making me fearful of liking someone. And this guy by the name of Satch. I know I shouldn't use his name, but his name was Satch. That was a nickname. And Satch stayed the night, all right? And me and Satch did get intimate, you know what I mean? Because I like Satch. And he busted in my sister's house, and he was like, I know you got a guy in here. And I was like, no, I don't. I was so scared. And he had caught Satch hiding behind the door naked, You know what I'm saying? And, like, then Satch was like, no, that's your boyfriend. He crazy, yada, yada, yada. And I was trying to explain that's not. And that's when he used to always say to me, I made that mold, I could break that mold. I didn't know what that meant.
Yeah, what did that mean?
As I got older, I felt he was saying, I made you, I can break you.
Oh.
Or either I was the first to get you, and I'm going to be the last to have you. You know what I mean? I used to try to figure that out. Because I wasn't dating. No one said that to me. So at the time when I got sick or tired of, like one time he slapped the shit out me. He slapped me so hard I went to school with, like, a bloodshot eye.
What did he slap you for?
He said I was being mouthy. But that was a control thing. I wasn't being mouthy. I wanted to be a kid. I didn't want to go with you. I didn't want to be in Brooklyn. I wanted to be a kid. But I didn't have that right. And I hated it. Like, he would, when he would be with my sister used to say to him, why every time we're together, you got to have my baby sister with us? That's how close he kept me. If he went on a date with my sister, he took me. And I didn't want to be there, and he'd be reaching in the back seat. He had a cream Cutlass Supreme, a bucket seats that reclined. And he always played loud-ass music. And he would reach in the back like he was reaching for something, but he would be filling me up.
And your sister was in the front seat?
And my sister be in the front seat.
And nobody nobody ever suspected anything from the age 8 years old until 15.
Nope. See, when I was 8, people taught, like I said, he used to be in the dance class tossing us around, so it wouldn't look like anything to anybody. It looked like a nice guy playing with the kids, tickling them, and stuff like that. It was when I became 9, 10 years old, then it became like I'm feeling on you. Then, I knew it was something wrong. I just didn't know, like I said, what it was. Because the first time he touched me, it was on Old Tappan Road behind the Glen Cove Middle School. Old Tappan Road. And I told him, I was like, when he pulled down my pants, I was like, we can't do this. He was like, shh. He was like, shh, you can't tell no one I did this. He said, don't worry about it. He basically explained this is something that he was supposed to do. It's okay. I just can't tell nobody. And don't you dare tell Tina. She ain't going to like you no more if you tell. And I never wanted her not to like me because she treated me with so much love. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Until this day, I still love her because she treated me with something I didn't get because I grew up in such a dysfunctional home. And he just took everything from me. That was the last time I danced. I never went back to dance school, never trusted to be around anyone with a left hand because he's left-handed. I never trust anybody with a left hand. I'm very leery of anybody with a left hand. My thing is, I want to know why she left that little girl standing in her living room knowing that her husband sexually molested me. Why did she turn that blind eye? And you told me you loved me. That you promised my mom you would protect me. And he did it a lot of times. He had his way with me so much that when I started to get into relationships, I didn't know what relationship was like. I thought that sex was acceptance. I'm not gonna say that I was promiscuous, but I thought if I didn't give in to someone that liked me, and they said that they were my boyfriend, you know what I'm saying, that I wouldn't have anybody. And then I stayed mad at my mom because I always felt like she was throwing me in the lions. Then I didn't have a relationship with my mother for many, many years. Many years I blamed her. But then my sister was like, tell her about time. It was too late. She passed away. And I came to see her when she was sick. And I felt that was, really messed up. That you can come around and do that.
Wow.
And when I got pregnant, first of all, after I broke up, let me tell you how I broke away from the whole situation.
Okay.
I found out that my aunt, who lived in Brooklyn, I was in freshman year of school. I used to bring my luggage to school, and I told my mom, if I learned how to take the train to Brooklyn, can I be allowed to go to Brooklyn? She said, if someone will meet you at each stop, I'll let you try and go. I just needed a way out. So I started going to Brooklyn. Lo and behold, here he come blowing that stupid horn in front of my in front of my aunt's house. And my aunt used to be like, who is that older guy out there for you? And my aunt you could tell he was much older than me. And he found me.
So you went to stay with your aunt, trying to get away from him, and he found
me at 239 Vernon Avenue.
And how old were you?
15. That's when I broke away from him. That's when I was like, I can't do it no more. Tina done already threw me out of dance class, at the age of 12. Told me that she didn't want me out of house no more. She didn't like me no more, and she didn't want me to be at one of her dances. So that was my last time I danced, and everything was taken from me. My childhood. So then I began to get on drugs. I started medicating myself, sneaky learning how to do different drugs, but always when I come down off it, always asking God, like, why would you do this to me? What did I ever do that you would allow someone to do that to me? You know, and it just ate me up. I reached out to Tina just like begging her, literally begging her, please talk to me. I was in her DMs. I wrote her a letter, went to her church, gave it to her sister to give to her. She never responded. And I'm saying, if someone is saying this about my husband, why I would approach them.
EmbracePangea.com. Remember that website, ladies, because this one is for you and all of your feminine needs. Visit EmbracePangea.com to treat your intimate areas with the products it deserves. The Pangea wash is made from honeysuckle and rose essential oils, is 100% natural, and doesn't dry you out down there. Don't dush, just in case your mama ain't never tell you that, because that's nasty, okay?
Oh, that's nasty.
Embrace Pangea wash instead and leave you and your yoni feeling clean, fresh, and with a balanced pH. EmbracePangea.com is where you can explore all of these wonderful vegan and plant-based products. Use the promotional code TASHAK for 10% off your first order at checkout. Now, you've recently had contact that you say was from Ashanti.
Yes, I did. Yes, okay. I did.
And
how that? Go ahead.
Tell me how that happened. Like, because you said that, you know, you had reached out to her, and she agreed to meet with you. But then the place that you guys agreed to meet at was actually at her father's house, and she wasn't there.
Let me tell you the story about that. I became so determined because Tina would never reply to none of the messages I would send to her. So I happened to go on Instagram one day, and she was the first advertisement that came up. And I said, well, maybe I could reach out to, direct message her and see if she can get her mom to call me. So matter of fact, it was something she put up about her dad, okay. How great he was or something. I have all the messages and everything, how great he was or something. And I was like, well, how well do you know your father? And she hit me back like, who's this? And I said, this is Stephanie. And she wanted to know what I meant by that. And I was like, your dad's a child molester.
Wow, you just told her straight up just like that?
Your father molested me, I said.
Okay.
And I called him a child molester and told her I can't wait till he burn in hell for what he did to me. And I said, and then I told her, if anything else you want to know, hit me up. Let me know what's on your mind. And she hit me up. She told me that, I think the first thing she said was, how I know you're not lying. I said, I wouldn't dare lie on anyone like this. You don't do nothing like that to lie. I said, but I will get my story out. I'm not going to carry this no more. I'm going to free myself. And whatever it takes to free me, I'm going to do it. So she just was, like, curious of stuff. And I told her stuff. I said, I remember when your mother was giving birth to you, she had a black eye. Ask about that.
Oh, wow.
That's what I said. I mean, I could send you the texts. And I began to tell her, that by the time I was 15, I had 3 kids by your father. Because she kept calling me a liar. And that was hurting me more. I felt molested all over again. Because that's how I always felt for all them years and never told nobody. Because I was like, no one's going to believe me. Who going to believe me? These people are so convincing and so many people love these people. Who going to believe me? And then I began to tell her about her grandmother's house and how cousin Jamel, your father's cousin Jamel, used to live in your grandmother Nanny's house on Oyster Avenue. And he used to also ask your father about why he was with me all the time. Everybody in his family used to be like, why are you with her all the time? They could not understand he had me more than Tina. Mm. He kept me so close. I didn't even go to the boys' club parties, and if I did, somehow he'd be like, meet me here or meet me there. It's like I could never enjoy myself, and I didn't do a lot of things, like play with dolls, do jump rope, because I was too busy allowing him. Well, I ain't going to say I was allowing him. Yeah. He was having his way with me however he wanted to, and it went on for years. But as I began to grow and be more mature, it was like, this shit, it can't go on no more. I can't do this no more, you know? And he had certain friends who witnessed things, but I'm not going to mention no names because they're running around town saying that I'm a liar anyway and that I'm crazy. But I know my story, and I'm going to stand in my truth. And I even texted when me and Ashanti was talking. I said, why don't you ask your father to take a lie detector test? Because at any time, I'll take one. It's not a problem because I told her I'm going to stand in my truth. And then she told me, all right, let's get to the part where she said she would meet up with me.
Okay.
So we started talking civil, you know, and I was just explaining stuff. And once I told her, she wanted a picture of me because she wanted to know, was she born when any of this stuff happened. I told her no, but I told her I held her in my arms when she was a baby, you know. And she said, send me a picture of yourself. And I said, well, just look in your mom's wedding album. I'm one of the little teeny bridesmaids. So I decided, no, I'm going to send her a picture. I sent her a picture of me and my daughter, which her father, before my daughter was born, stood over my bed and said, I hope you and that baby die at birth. You know, so I won't forgive him for that. But I have a daughter that's very intelligent and very a good person. And where was I at, Tasha? I'm just, like, pissed off right now. I'm getting angry instead of being hurt. Anyway, so she had got me to believe that we could talk civil, and I was telling her I was a good person, that I'm sorry that I reached out to her. I'm not trying to hurt her, yada, yada, yada. I know she has the right to, you know, stand up for her family, just like I have the right to defend myself. But I told her I'm not a liar, and I wouldn't do that. So she wanted me to meet her at nighttime, like 11 o'clock. She sent me the address. And I told her, no, I'm not going to do that because when I come, I'm coming alone. I don't have a support system. She was like, well, only me and my sister is here. You can come. So I told her, no, I can't do that. So she didn't want, so she hit me back. She was like, I think you got the wrong Douglas. I was like, no, I got the right Douglas. Trust me, I got the right Douglas. You know, then she agreed to meet me at the address she sent me. I went to the address she sent me, and I saw 3 cars in the driveway. So then something said, no. So I drove to the Burger King, not too far from her house, and I called her. It was like 8:30 in the morning. I didn't even go to work. 8:30 in the morning. I said, well, you said you were a texter. You said you was an early riser. I went to the house, but I didn't go in the horseshoe. I just went to the mailbox, because I didn't know who was there, what was going to happen, and I really shouldn't have been there.
I agree.
Not by myself.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? But she made me feel so comfortable, and she made me feel as though I could truly trust her. She's convincing. She is her father's child. She definitely is her father's child. She convinced me to meet with her. So then she hits me back. I told her I was at the Burger King having breakfast. You know, can she meet me there? She said, no, Mama, come back to the house. I'm sorry, first it was I was in the room getting dressed. Then it was, I was sleeping, I'm sorry, she was running late, blah, blah, blah. So she said, no, come back, but you gotta hurry because I have to be somewhere. So I scurried my butt back to the house, and I told her, can you meet me by your mailbox? She said, just pull up a little bit. So I did. It didn't take me in the horseshoe, but it took me to the end of the driveway. I couldn't see who was coming until the feet came from behind the car. Mm-hmm. I thought the whole ground opened up and swallowed me. And he was like, what are you doing here? I was like, I just got off the phone with your daughter.
Wait a minute. So Kincaid was there.
Kincaid came out.
Oh.
And he wanted to see the text and stuff. And I was like, no, these texts are between me and your daughter. But how would I get this address? And why would I be here this early in the morning? For what reason would I be here early in the morning if someone didn't send me this address and tell me? He's like, my daughter ain't do that. You mean to tell me you and Shawnee been, communicating? I said, yes. We've been communicating for a few weeks now. He didn't believe me. He wanted to see the phone. I told him no. I put my car in reverse, and I got out of the daggone driveway. I hit her back because I began to have a panic attack. I didn't know if I was going to have a heart attack or what. My mind is racing right now. I'm saying this is where I should be killing myself. I am not lying. And I have it all on text. So I'm crying. I pull over to the side of the road. I'm thinking everything. Girl, you need to calm down because if anything happened to you on the side of this road, first of all, your husband don't want to know what are you doing here because you told him you was going to the insurance company to pay your car insurance. But I didn't. I went to her crib. She claimed she lived there. Her father said she wasn't even in town. And then she told me I was overreacting. Calm down. And I was like, can you just please come check on me because I'm not well right now. Why would you do this to me? Why would you send your dad outside? And she texts me, and she's like, my dad literally came outside. I said, your dad came outside to my car, and he wanted to see our Texas. And then it was, no, my mom told him to go outside. I said, I could respect it and accepted it better if your mother came outside. But you're going to send the person who molested me outside?
I couldn't imagine. How'd you feel like when you laid eyes on him? Like,
I sat on the side of that road, Tasha. I sat on the side of that road for like 45 minutes. My chest began to get tight. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know whether to faint. I didn't know. I just was confused. I couldn't do nothing but come home and hop in the bed and just like cry. And she was hitting me up like, are you okay? I'm just texting to check on you. And I hit her back, being the person that I am, and said, thank you, but I'm okay. You know what I mean? I don't like ruffling nobody's feathers because, in reality, it's not even about her.
What did you expect to happen when you met with her?
You know, Tasha, what I expected was someone to take... I expected her to try to get me and her mom to talk. Okay. I know I shouldn't even have reached out to her, but I had this hope. So deep down inside that someone could get to Tina so I can ask her, I just want to know, why did you leave me in that house with that man?
No, being that you had such a traumatic childhood experience with her father, I have to say allegedly. Of course, I'm not discrediting you. It's
allegedly, my ass. I know what he did.
I know.
I'm standing in my truth. I'm not going to carry this no more.
And I know. And listen, you and I have had several conversations. You spoke of a drug problem that you picked up.
Yeah. So it began to be suicidal. Yeah.
Stomach cancer.
And I think from all the worrying over the years, that's what caused it.
And you've been in intense therapy, as well as
I'm still in therapy. I've been in therapy since I've been 17. I'm still in therapy.
Okay.
I go faithfully because I suffer with PTSD. I have panic disorder.
Okay. And you have moved into a new phase of your life, which I am happy for. You are married. You have a supportive husband, and this...
Absolutely.
You gotta know, like, there are just certain battles that are clearly like not yours, and that was not one of them. I don't agree with you meeting up with her because I couldn't imagine how you felt when you laid eyes on him after all these years.
Yeah, no idea. And then she told me, you don't have nothing. Well, if you're that afraid, just leave the letter you want my mom to read in the mailbox. I said, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Because me and Tina's sister, we've been to lunch. I mean, we've been to breakfast a couple of times. Okay. I'm going to say, like, so I didn't want to bring a lot of people into this, because I've been around her whole entire family. The whole entire family. Now, I know so much about these people, but it's not my place to reveal. Right now I'm just focused on what her father did to me because that's what I need to be free of. But her mother turned a blind eye, and that's only because she didn't. It's like this. Let me put this. He also used to work security around Glen Cove in the projects. The guy she used to work with, there was this man named Kojak, very old and wise guy. He used to be like, why you with that young girl all the time? Tina used to come to the boiler room sometime and knock on the boiler room door. You know, you just want to see your boyfriend or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And she would knock on the boiler room door. He would have me hiding in that damn hot-ass boiler room where he would take me and have sex. Wherever he wanted, he had me. And like I said, like at 11, 10, 12 years old, I was taking showers in the house. He would be washing me up, and then he would tell me to wash him up.
Let me ask you a question, because it's just for the viewers, because a lot of people think that when people do come forward with allegations like this, there's some sort of like monetary compensation that they want. So I want you to tell the viewers, why are you telling your story? Do you want money? Do you want liberation? What is it?
You know, I don't want no money. I don't want no money because the God I serve provides all my needs. You know, I just want her mother to look me in my eye and let me know she knew. I'll forgive them. I don't want nothing. I just want a conversation. That's all I want. And like my husband said, Steph, you may never get that conversation.
And are you okay with that?
I have to be. I have to be for the simple fact I can't let this take over me no more. A lot of my life was always shut down because of this. I wouldn't go nowhere. Always stayed in the house. Can't trust nobody. You know what I mean?
Do you feel like this interview is your conversation, whether they want to have one or not with you?
I feel like this interview did a lot for me, as far as my story's out there now. Someone hears me. I thank you for hearing me. You know, I've tried to tell my story to several people, and no one has ever responded. So when you responded after I reached out to you, you know how I answered the phone. I had a breakdown because I was so surprised.
Yeah, you did.
But God do his thing in his time. It's not going to come in my time. But I know I don't have a heaven or hell to put neither one of them in, and my salvation is secured, but is their salvation secured? For years I sat back and was like, oh, I don't want to hurt Tina. I don't want to hurt this one. I don't want no one to know about this, but I do want someone to know. And you know, my boyfriend, it was my boyfriend at the time, he kept saying, why are you so worried about hurting him? Haven't you suffered enough?
Yeah.
He said, you always want to not hurt nobody. But here you are, you don't sleep at night, you getting up and you crying, and you just go through, all of a sudden you go through these outbursts because it just hits you. I can't listen to certain music because it takes me back to certain moments. You know, I need to find a way to identify listening to certain music to something happy instead of something traumatizing. And me and my husband could be in the car and say Teddy Pendergrass come on. I'll be like, can you turn that off? Or can you turn the radio? Because it may make me think about where he had taken me somewhere and had sex with me. But I like Teddy Pendergrass. You know, so it's a lot. But I don't want no money. I don't want nothing from them. They can't do nothing. Money's not going to take this away. Money will never take this scar away. It will always be with me for the rest of my life. But one thing I can say, I don't have to live with it no more as far as letting it overpower me.
Sticker price? What the hell is that? Winos, get the car of your dreams without the hassle of negotiations, because my friends at Carmarshal.com handle all of that for you. Carmarshal is your personal automotive negotiator right at your fingertips. The website is super easy to navigate. Just type in your zip code and select what it is you're looking for. Then voila! All of the joys of shopping without the hassle of haggling. Click on their link below to start your pain-free car buying experience with today.
So I know that's the first thing anyone's gonna think. Oh, she wants something because it's Ashanti and her mom, and I don't want nothing from them. They really ain't. Let me just not say nothing in the name of Jesus. But I don't want nothing from them. But I know I'm not a liar. I stand by this. And if he want to say I'm a liar, let's take a lie detector test. Let's see who's lying. Let's see who's lying. Because at any time I would take one. Any time. I have nothing to hide. And I told Ashanti that I'm willing to take it.
After that encounter with him at, his home, when you thought you were going to visit Ashanti, had you heard from him anytime, like between now and then?
Nope. He don't have no way of getting in touch with me. But I did hear, because we have a mutual friend. Okay. We have two mutual friends. I did hear that I was discussed. One of the friends called him and wanted to know from him, like, yo, what is this I've seen or heard that's on the internet? And he told them that he didn't know why I was saying all of this, that I was crazy. He wouldn't do nothing like that. And, basically, I must want something. I don't want anything. I don't want not one thing, and let me make that clear to your viewers. I don't want nothing from these people.
You just want your story heard. You just want the truth out.
I just want the truth out, and I want his wife to be woman enough to look me in my face and tell me I'm lying. And I want her to look me in my face and tell me I never knew nothing about it. You're a liar because you caught me in your house and you know what he was doing, and you caught me in that van.
And she still went on to marry him.
Yeah, and they went on their honeymoon at the Poconos. The Poconos was like hot then. That's when the Poconos just hit the market, I guess.
Mm-hmm. I'm familiar with the Poconos.
And I would wait by the payphone between Burns Avenue and Glen Cove Avenue, and he would call me. He called me every day while he was on his honeymoon to keep tabs on me.
So he told you a time to meet him.
He would tell me when I would talk to him, he would tell me what time to be at that payphone.
Wow.
And I would be at that payphone. I could have been doing anything else, but I would stay in the house and get to that payphone when it was time to get to that payphone. That's how much control he had. And when he came home from that honeymoon, he showed me every picture of her laid out in lingerie, everything.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I sat and I helped write out her wedding invitation envelopes, everything. She brought me clothes. She brought me my first pair of platform leather shoes because they used to make fun of my sneakers because the cat had peed in my sneakers, and I was young. I didn't know you're supposed to wash it, and my sneaker would stink. And they would talk pig Latin. They good at talking pig Latin, and if you don't not good at you don't know they're talking about you.
Oh no,
but they good at talking pig Latin, and they used to talk about my sneakers. Tina went out and brought me some sneakers, brought me some shoes. And brought me shoes.
I'm very familiar with Pig Latin. My people speak it too when they don't want us to understand what they're saying. But I picked it up fast.
Yeah, so there's a lot I know. So none of this is made up. None of it. Not one bit of it. We did it in the garage of Glen Arms because they had a parking garage. We did it in the garage, the stairwell, anywhere he wanted to.
And I just want to ask, too, being that you were so young and you were, of course, engaging in intercourse without consent. A 9, 10-year-old cannot give consent at all.
No, he started penetrating at 10. And because I had my period, that's when I got pregnant at 11.
Okay. You never suffered any, besides the abortions, you said without anesthesia, I could not imagine. Never any, I guess, issues with your productive system, vaginal. You never suffered any issues?
I had problems. Yes, I had problems. Yes.
And
when
your
I was
mom,
younger, like 17, 18, because I had my daughter when I was 20, I was having, like, issues internally. And I still suffer with internal issues, which I'm being seen for right now. I still suffer with internal issues.
Okay. And your mom never ever knew about any of those issues.
I'm gonna tell you, he was so sweet to my mother. Once my sister explained it to me, just like anybody who comes into your home, they get you to trust them, and they're willing to help you out with a child, or, show you love and kindness. You don't see it. She said, you think Mommy would have let him come around? My mom would have killed him if she knew. You know what I'm saying? But I struggled with the fact, wondering, did she know? Because you're really not supposed to let your kid be out at 11, 12 o'clock.
Of course, yeah.
But he would always be like, she was with me and Tina. My mom we didn't have a phone where, my mom could call and be like, is she there? Back then, this was in the 70s, early 80s. I wish I could have text you a picture of me when I was 12 and you could have saw me and you would have definitely known there's no way I could have passed for in my 20s when I went to go get. I'm going to send it to you.
No, please, because I want to add it to this interview. And before we wrap up, is there anything you want to leave the viewers with, or Kincaid with, or Tina with, or Ashanti with? And I know you said a lot during this interview, but just some last words before we close up here.
Well, my last words would be to Kincaid would be, you can't hide, and the truth always comes out. I forgive him, because in order to free myself, I have to give him, and that's the God in me. And to Tina, I want her to know that, oh, Lord Jesus, you know what you're living with. You know what you're living with. And I truly believe she knows what he did.
Because you feel like, I'm sorry to interrupt you, you feel like there are more girls, but they just have, okay. Absolutely. Okay. And for Ashanti, I would leave with her that I apologize for even hitting her up to even ask her to try to get her mother and I to meet, because she wasn't around when it happened, But as far as the viewers, I would say talk to your children. Talk to your children if you see anything out the way. Push. Make them talk. Make them talk. You said a lot right there. You said a lot.
You don't want to. I'm 55 years old, and I'm going to be very honest. I'm 55 years old, and I still go through periods where I could be in the shopping center doing grocery shopping, and an overwhelming sense of emotions will come over me because I get flashbacks. And I can't food shop. I don't like the summertime because I have to interact with people. I love the wintertime because people don't come out during the winter too much. They don't like the cold. So I feel like the world is mine. I shouldn't have to do that.
Wow.
And just don't let your little girls and your little boys sit on your friends' laps. Don't always have your kids around grown-ups, but talk to your kids. Talk to your kids, because no one talked to me. Had someone talked to me, I would have screamed from the highest mountain, this man touched me. But no one ever talked to me. This was the 70s, so they didn't speak about those things.
Thank you, Stephanie Taylor, for sharing such a... I can't even put words to this story, but thank you for sharing your truth. And I pray that there is a healing, a peaceful healing.
I thank you, Tasha, for I thank you for believing me enough to put me on your platform. I thank you for allowing me a lot of freedom. You just gave me a lot that's been taken off my shoulders. I think tonight is going to be a first night in a long time. I won't wake up in the middle of the night and sit in my living room at 4 a.m. and try to cry real softly so my husband won't have to hear it. You know? And I'm just grateful. I'm just grateful.
No, thank you for trusting me because, I mean, I'm just the pillar. I mean, I allow women such as yourself to share your voice. I've been that girl, so I know, and I just made a vow to myself that I would always allow especially black girls, little black girls, because you still are a little black girl inside, to speak your truth.
Yes. And Tasha, if this was all false, I know you spoke when I was in my therapy. We spoke when I was in my therapist's office.
Yes.
If this was not true, there's no way I would have given you access. And you know I've given you access.
Oh, of course I know. And
to my record. So that speaks volumes right there.
And I don't take any of this for granted. Yeah.
I got receipts.
And I don't take any of this for granted. And like I said, you know, we spoke, you came to me over 4 months ago with the allegations, and we're just now doing the interview because this was a hard process. I mean, there was some trust that had to be built, and, you know, it's a lot. Telling these type of stories, you just can't tell them to just anybody, so I don't take that for granted. And I appreciate you trusting me, and hopefully this will bring more healing to the pain that you did not deserve. And if nobody has ever said, I'm sorry, I want to say I'm sorry on behalf of those adults who failed you when you needed them.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that. That means a lot to me. That means a hell of a lot, and you don't even know me like that. Thank you.
We are a community. Listen, we are a community, and, you know, we all hold each other's burdens and pains. And so, you know, I want to say I'm sorry that happened to you, and you did not deserve that.
Thank you.
Okay. I want you to get some rest, okay?
Yeah.
And I'll call you after this interview when we drop the audio down and check on you, and I'll prepare you for release, okay? So, because there's some things that I want to talk to you about, okay?
All right.
Okay.
All right.
All
yeah,
right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms.
Bye-bye.
Taylor. All right, bye-bye.